join. And now it is recording. How about that? I'll figure out how to send it some other time. So I'm going to have to share my screen for the PowerPoint to be there. How about that? And the camera works. Amazing. Thank you, Teresa, for that introduction. Can you hear me, Jana? Great. So today I'm going to talk to you, ladies and gentlemen, about women, okay? First, I'm going to talk with you about some very famous, inspiring women. And then I'm going to talk with you about some of South Park's very own inspiring women. Then I'll share a bit about my own story and then give you some tips. Okay. So first, let me share this quote with you. It says, "Don't let circumstances pull you down. No matter what comes your way, get over it and keep moving forward." By the great Joel Osteen. All right. So I think we all recognize that lady. Miss Oprah Winfrey, born Orpah Winfrey. She was born into poverty. She was a victim of sexual abuse, by an uncle, a cousin, and a family friend. She became pregnant when she was 14, and she was once told that she didn't have the right look to be on television. Okay? But that didn't stop her. She says you're responsible for your life. You can't keep blaming somebody else for your dysfunction. Life is really about moving on. And what that means is we all go through something. And we have to forgive the people who hurt us and forgive ourselves so that we can accomplish our dreams. Miss J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter. Who's read that? Well, good for y'all. I actually haven't. But she was a young, divorced, single mother once upon a time. She depended on welfare, and her book was rejected by 12 different publishers. And she ended up selling it for a measly $4,000. Okay? But that did not stop her. She says happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. So we have to remember to look for the silver lining. Even through our failures, through hardships, look for the silver lining. Now Miss Rowling has more money than the Queen. Okay? Now Miss Tracy Lemons wrote and directed Eve's Bayou and Harriet. Anybody see those? I love Eve's Bayou. She's also an actress. She's acted in Silence of the Lambs, School Days, and the original Kingdom. Her parents divorced when she was very young, and she was enrolled in an all-white school where she was harassed every day because of her race. But that didn't stop her. She says, one of my foolish qualities is to jump boldly and then think about it later. So when opportunities present themselves, don't let fear stop you. Go for it. Now, this lady, Charlize Theron, is an actress. She's a producer. She's a United Nations Messenger of Peace, an activist, former model, and dancer. Her father wasn't at fault to abuse her mother. He pulled a gun on both of them, and she witnessed her mother shoot him to death. But none of that stopped her. She says, you choose the life you want for yourself, and then you just shut up and go on about it. Okay? Our choices matter, no matter what we've gone through. Now, this lady, Miss Shirley Chisholm, was the first African-American woman to run for president from one of the two major parties here in the United States, and the first African-American woman to serve in Congress. She was born to immigrant parents. She was blocked from participating in a presidential primary debate on television because of race. She dealt with gender discrimination from the primarily Black congressional caucus. Sexism. She says you don't make progress by standing on the sidelines, whimpering, and complaining. You make progress by implementing ideas. In other words, you find solutions. You don't wait for somebody else to solve your problems. My favorite quote by her is, if you can't support me, get out of the way. So if there are people in your life who aren't supporting you, do you really need them? All right. Let's talk about some Stalbart girl power. First, we have Miss Jana. Miss Jana is the daughter of the first generation immigrant. Her mother was in active addiction for over 20 years and also had some mental health issues. She took on the parental role for her young brother when she was also very young and experienced poverty. But none of that stopped her. She's the first person in her family to attend college and earn a bachelor's. She's working on a graduate degree, and she used her hardships to become resilient and resourceful. How did she do all of that? Hard work and with the support of other successful women who mentored her. Next, we have Miss Susan Feinster. Miss Susan was born into a low-income family of 9 children. She worked while she went to college and paid for college out of her own pocket. She's overcome several health issues, including cancer, all the side effects from chemo and radiation, and a broken neck. She had double knee replacement due to severe osteoarthritis, and she struggled with obesity all of her life. But none of that stops her from her responsibilities and from achieving her dream. She has a bachelor's degree and 2 masters. She's tenacious, and her faith in God, family, and her attitude helped her achieve that. So let me ask you guys, what is attitude? What do you think of it? Yes, spirit. Anybody else? Yes, exactly. Yes, your attitude is about how you see the world, the kind of spirit you have, how you interpret things that are happening. Right? So if you're always down, you're always complaining, then something might be a little bit wrong with your attitude. So we have to rethink, okay? And we need people in our lives who can say, hey, what's going on? Okay? A mentor that can say, hey, can I help you? Change your thinking. Now, Miss Bernina Morgan had a speech impediment when she was growing, but that hasn't stopped her from being a sought after speaker and teacher. She's a member of various boards. She gives presentations on a national level. And she's also been the keynote speaker for this group. Okay. How did Miss Morgan overcome that speech impediment? Her parents helped her. They worked with her to recite words and phrases that she had trouble with. She practiced and practiced until she got them right, and she felt comfortable saying. Our own Kate was raised primarily by a single mother. She was diagnosed with several learning disabilities and also has ADHD. But none of that stopped her either. She's a graduate 4th in her class. Double majored in college and attended the University of Pittsburgh to work on her graduate degree. She's also a small business owner. And how did Ms. Kate do all of that? She taught herself strategic coping mechanisms like time management. She didn't use her disabilities as an excuse for not achieving her dreams. And she learned to advocate for herself. We all have to do that. Stand up for what you deserve demanded. Now, a little bit about my story, not a lot, just that lady was my mother, Catherine Bradford. Without her, I would not be here, even though I was in an accident. I'm still here. My mother was orphaned when she was a newborn, ignored by the man who fathered her, race, abandoned by her biological family, and raised by the midwife who delivered her. She contracted polio when she was a kid, survived an abusive marriage, survived cancer, sepsis. She was a teenage mother, but she finished high school, and she worked despite her disability to make sure that we were okay. She raised 5 kids, her and my dad, and all of us have college degrees except for one who was career married. How did she do that? And she went through a whole lot more than what I went through. Her attitude has always been, you do what you have to do. No excuses. You know you need to get it done, get it done. And imagine me complaining to this one who's been through more than anybody else I know. Her faith, her tenacity, her determination to raise healthy, successful children. That's how she got it done. Now, Teresa probably remembers this one. Yes. So that's one of my favorite leading men there. Not a good picture of me, but it's okay. Now, here's some of my struggles. I've always been the fat in my family, with my friends. I've been accused of being militaristic. And to me, that means maybe I'm too much like a type A man. I don't know. Never fitting at school. I was too white for the black kids, too black for the white kids. Frequently challenged at work. Questioned. I've missed some opportunities. I face racism, and I do work 4 different jobs. Okay, is this everything I've gone through now? There's a whole bunch of other stuff. I take some medication. Okay, but criticism does not help you to make changes. Love and respecting yourself, they help you to make changes. So taking all of that criticism, that didn't help me make any change when it comes to my weight or my educational goals. I had to come to those decisions on my own from a place of love. And I was telling Kate, last time I was in this auditorium, I couldn't let the desktop down. Okay. But today I can. So for those of you who don't know, I had gastric sleeve surgery in November, and I've lost about 80 pounds. But I did that for my own health, not from listening to voices from my family, from friends, from anybody. I did that out of love for myself. You also have to surround yourself with people you want to be like, those mentors. If you're around people who are constantly negative, they're talking about the person who just walked off, those aren't really people who can help you achieve anything but misery. Okay? And don't turn down opportunities. And sometimes fear can hold you back. Sometimes you don't think you're competent enough or you don't know enough. Apply for that job anyway. When Teresa called and asked me to speak today, I think I said I wanted to shoot it. I do not like speaking in front of people, but the more you do something, the better you get. Okay, so take advantage of those opportunities. And get over it. Okay, just get over it. You've all been through something. Okay, get over it. So if you don't know how to fix your attitude or overcome obstacles in your life, ask a successful woman. Okay? I'm giving you names of people right here at Soundfire. Go and talk to them. They will help you. So here are some reasons we can all thank women who came before us. Okay, you can vote. You can receive the same salary as a man for doing the same job. And if you don't, you can sue. You can go to college instead of having babies, or you can do both. You can apply for any job not just those jobs that were traditionally for females. You can own property, own your own. Doesn't have to be attached to a male. Get custody of your children after divorce or separation. You can wear pants if you want to. Okay? And your boss is forbidden to pressure you to leave it. And if he does, you can sue. Okay? Now, here's how you can succeed. Take control of your health. That's physical, mental, spiritual health. Take control of that. Change your attitude. If it's stinky, change it. You don't know where to start? Ask someone. They will help you. Ask a mentor, a faith leader, or a therapist. Learn to say no. Sometimes we can get overwhelmed and we say, yes, I can do that. Yes, I'll do that. Or you do something like going to a party when you know you have a test to take. Okay, learn to say no. Make better choices strategically. That means whatever decision you're facing, think about the pros, the cons, how will it help me if I do this? Who can help me accomplish this? Think it through. Define who you are and what you stand for. And don't back down. Okay, don't back down. There will be people who may not like you. There will be people who may put up obstacles in your path. But if you know who you are and what you stand for, you'll be okay. Reject negative messages from others. They don't do you any good. They just add to anger, depression, all that stuff you need to dump. But accepting constructive criticism is something that's very different. Even if that's coming from someone who's not your friend. If it's something that you can use it to better yourself. And that is the end. Thank you all.